What's going on, everyone? So the Lakers have officially been eliminated from the playoffs and their season is over. The Denver Nuggets are advancing to the NBA Finals, and the Lakers season was a roller coaster to say the least. To go from a team that started 0-5, 2-10, and just looked like they were helpless and not going anywhere. And it was another wasted season, another disaster. The Lakers ended up pulling through, kind of weathering the storm until the trade deadline, in which we were able to put together a real true roster, and we were able to make a run and end up getting into the playoffs, advancing to the Western Conference Finals, and putting ourselves in a position that felt like, hey, we have a real chance here. It's not the way we wanted to go out, right? I mean, you never want to get swept, but I'd much rather get to the Western Conference, get to this point. I've seen a lot of people talk about how, oh, I wish that they would have lost in the first round, or they're better losing to the Warriors, or something along those lines. And I just never understand that logic, right? Your goal as an organization, year in and year out, is to win an NBA championship and to get as close to that goal as possible. It's, the argument with LeBron James. He has all these NBA finals losses and blah, blah, blah. And to people, it's like, oh, it would have been better for him to just not make the finals and lose early. It's like, what? Like, isn't the goal to get to that point and put yourself in a position to have a chance? If you don't win it, then you don't win it. Like, whether you lose in the first round or the 10th round, it doesn't matter, right? It's how far can you go? Can you reach those heights? And for the Lakers to reach that height this year of the Western Conference Finals, that's an achievement in and of itself. Again, there's only two teams that make the conference finals, and the Lakers were one of those two teams. The Lakers are a true contender. And I believe that the Lakers will make some, readjustments, some retooling. Maybe it's a big change. Maybe it's a couple minor ones. Maybe it's nothing really at all, and they just add some pieces in the offseason via free agency. Not a bunch of really blue chip level free agents, but I don't think the Lakers need a lot, right? I think they definitely need a big man, like a legit sizable big man that can come in, play maybe alongside Anthony Davis, back up Anthony Davis, somebody outside of Mo Bamba, because Mo Bamba is definitely going to be a project. I think the Lakers need some reliable three-point shooting, definitely, and I think that the Lakers really need just like another perimeter defender, ideally, either that or like another like playmaking, scoring type player, like a Malik Monk, right? Somebody like that, just as an example. But regardless, the Lakers, it's unfortunate. It hurts. It sucks that they weren't able to win the NBA championship, but I fully believe that the Lakers will be right back, right? LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they were dealing with all kinds of little injuries, foot injuries. LeBron James, he has to have off-season surgery, very likely. I mean, he said it himself. He needed surgery before, but he kind of played through it. Also, another thing to keep in mind, which I've seen kind of the opposite narrative, which doesn't make sense. People talk about how LeBron James is going to be older, Anthony Davis, that are they going to be as good next year as they were this year? And I actually think that they likely will be better next year because one of the big issues that LeBron and AD had this year is they had to just carry this roster so heavily without the other. Right? Because you had Anthony Davis that missed months on the season. LeBron James missed months on the season. And they didn't have a roster good enough to compete without Anthony Davis having, best player in the league type stretches for several weeks. And LeBron James averaging 30 on several stretches. Like, that was the big difference. Where this year, coming up, this following season, the Lakers, when LeBron James inevitably misses time, the Lakers will be able to weather that storm so much better. And LeBron James won't have to rush back from injury. Anthony Davis, same thing. If Anthony Davis misses time, if you have like a legit big man and you have guys in this current roster, they'll be able to weather that storm until Anthony Davis can get back, and they won't have to rush and expedite. Even when they do play, you're not going to need LeBron James and Anthony Davis to average 30 a game and just have to do everything in order just to be competitive and give you a chance to win. No, you're going to have a team in a roster that's going to be able to handle a good majority of the lifting throughout an 82-game season. That, I think, is extremely valuable and a big difference between this past season and next season. because the Lakers will have a full roster and a full team. So LeBron and Anthony Davis should be healthier, fresher, and not having to kill themselves all season to get into the playoffs, that I imagine that they would be better come playoff time. They'll have their legs underneath them. They won't have the serious injuries that they had to deal with. If those types of injuries happen, they happen. But the likelihood is far increased that they will be healthier because they have a roster that can actually fight throughout the course of a season, rather than it's just like, we need LeBron James and Anthony Davis to give us, 70 points combined for us to even have a chance. That's the big difference. But also, speaking of LeBron James, there are a lot of reports and rumors that LeBron James may consider a retirement. Personally, I don't buy it. I don't see LeBron James retiring. He just signed a 2-year deal. Now, second year is a player option, so he could opt out, which he very well might. His son very likely will be in the NBA at that time. Obviously, he's made it abundantly clear he wants to play with his son. There is the likelihood that he just takes the year off, right? And goes, has his surgery, rehabs, gets his body right, gets everything together, takes a year or so off, son comes in the league, and then he just goes to whatever team as a free agent that his son is on, plays with the son for a year or two, and then that's it, and he goes a different, he goes off into the sunset. I just don't see it. Like I said, I think LeBron James is going to ride out this season. I think he is going to play. I think he's going to be determined, right? I also feel a lot of this is just the pressure for the organization, right? We already are hearing the reports of Kyrie Irving or Trae Young or whatever. I fully believe that this is what LeBron does, right? He puts pressure on organizations by using the 1+1s or the looming of retirement or whatever to go, hey, you want me to stick around? I don't want you just sitting on your hands standing pat. That's what LeBron does. And so I think more than anything, this is just his tactic that he uses to get the Lakers not to just stand by. I think he's looking at it as like, hey, we were just in the Western Conference Finals with me on a hobble foot. Anthony Davis's lack of consistency and this roster that we Mickey Mouse together, we could have a real chance. Look what we could do if you put together a real roster. Go get me more help. Go get me a better fluid roster. We don't need any major changes, but just upgrade some things. Can you turn Malik Beasley and Mo Bamba into Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, right? Now you got a reliable, consistent, proven three-point shooter. You got another center that can, provide the center spot, and Anthony Davis can play the 4, or, you could have him as just Anthony Davis insurance, period. All of those things. Gives you more flexibility. Good luck trying to score on those two towers. All of that stuff, right? There's things that the Lakers can do that doesn't necessarily have to be a Kyrie Irving or a Damian Lillard or something like that. Obviously, if you can get that and keep your core, sure, why not, right? Because the big concern is don't go chase a third star and you lose everybody. But if the Lakers were to get a Trae Young or a Damian Lillard, they could keep essentially their entire roster and have the depth as well as a third star. If you can do that, then sure. But if you can't, and the only other options is to go get a couple blue chip guys, why not? Go get that, upgrade the roster slightly, and I expect the Lakers to be right back. I think this is just added pressure from LeBron James. I think this is just LeBron James trying to pressure the organization to deliver on the offseason. Hey, don't just stand pat. We're close, but we're not there yet. And I'm only going to be another year older. I am going to have surgery. I'm not going to do all this stuff if you guys aren't serious about winning a chip. I'm not going to go and have this surgery and have to rehab through all this and work my tail off for you guys just to go, we're good where we're at, right? LeBron wants to win another championship. Him doing it at his age would break records in history, right? So he's all about that. I really think that this is just pressure on the organization as a whole. But main priorities, Lakers have to keep Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. Got to keep them. Got to keep them intact. They were huge pieces since we acquired them. And they're going to just continue to be huge pieces, I believe, going forward. Obviously, we signed Austin Reeves as an undrafted free agent, and then Rui Hachimura we traded for. I think these two guys proved more than enough that they are worth the bag. They're going to get their bag, and they're going to be huge components for the Lakers going forward. You kind of have like your core 4 or 5 guys, right? You got LeBron, AD, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura. I would add Jared Vanderbilt to that list because, again, he's very young, 24 years old. He's only making $4.5 million, and he should only improve and only get better. If he can develop just a consistent corner 3, Lakers could be very scary. He could be a very scary player. But, again, I expect the Lakers, they have their core. They just need a couple pieces. You just need to upgrade 1 or 2 more guys. Again, that's why. Like, if you can go get even just like a Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, now you have basically 7 like blue chip level guys, which is more than enough to go and contend for a championship, right? It's the lack of consistency, right? Outside of Reeves, Rui, LeBron, and AD, you had no real consistency. And even at times, all 4 of these guys were inconsistent. But the problem was the other guys were so much bigger of an inconsistency that if these 4 guys didn't play perfect, you didn't have anyone else that could step up. Where if you had again, just using them as an example, Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, if Anthony Davis is having an off shooting night, you have Miles Turner who could go and get you 20. Or Buddy Hield who could go get you 20. It just gives you 2 more guys that if Austin Reeves is in a little bit of a slump or Rui Hachimura is in a little bit of a slump, you have 2 other guys that can kind of carry that and replace that lack of production momentarily. That's what the problem was. The Lakers didn't have that. Like D'Angelo Russell was like non-existent. Beasley and Troy Brown became unplayable. It's like you can't have that and expect to have huge success, right? Where you look at a team like Denver, they were only running like 6 guys, but all 6 guys showed up night in and night out. All 6 guys, you look at their stats, and it's like every game, all 6 guys are in double figures, and all 6 guys are giving you 15 plus a night. The Lakers need to kind of replicate that. I think they just need like 2 or 3 quality pieces that on a nightly basis can provide some level of consistency. I think the Lakers will be right back, and I think that they will have a real chance at winning an NBA championship. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Are you disappointed? Are you proud? What do you think, and what would you like to see the Lakers do in the offseason? Any specific pieces that you want to see them grab? Do you want them to go get a Kyrie? Again, if they get a Kyrie, though, they're probably losing essentially everybody. There is a path to get Kyrie and keep Austin Reeves, but you'd lose Rui Hachimura. You basically lose everybody else. You'd have a roster of Kyrie, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and then a bunch of vet minimum guys. Is that enough to win a championship? I don't know. Healthy, it definitely could be a team that's good enough to compete with anybody, but that lack of depth could be something that ends up biting the Lakers if they go that route. But anyway, again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions, however you feel. Let me know.